Alright, so today we're going to see about putting on a wheel spacer to push this out. Looking at how far in they are from the lip, it looks like I got up to about 3 inches. So I bought a 1.25 inch wheel spacers to hopefully push this out so that, I believe it's right here, was rubbing the inside of the bed. So we can push that out a little bit. It'll allow me to ride a little bit better, but also it'll allow me to possibly remove these guys and maybe give me a better ride so the truck's not so bouncy. But they were put in here along with these air shocks to pretty much hold the frame over the wheels so it doesn't cut the tire up. But instead we're just going to properly space the tire so we don't have to worry about all that. So let's get to it. So this was an attempt, I don't know, very small, not doing the job. So hopefully the new ones we got will do a little bit better. So we've gone from this to this. Now I got a nice solid lip. It's about 1.25 inches. And I ended up using the lug nuts that came with the wheels, because apparently the ones for the studs are a little bit bigger than these. So let's see how it looks. We'll put one wheel on. Slight concern is I do have a little bit of a gap here, which is weird because I also have a gap in the front here. So I'm assuming somewhere in the machining of this larger bore, it doesn't quite fit the cover of this axle piece here. So we'll see how that goes. Might have to upgrade later, but for now we'll see. So even though it fit the wheel perfectly, we have issues with the axle mount, right? Because now I have these torqued down and my drum brakes are loose. So we're gonna have to, I guess, cancel for today, and then we will hopefully see if we can order the right ones. Hopefully I can just do the rear. I'll see about the fronts, if they fit the fronts, and figure out what these axle widths are so that way I can get the right part. But yeah, we'll see. Alright, so we're going to use our nice little Temu purchase here and see how wide of an axle we have. So we're going to 0. Uh-oh, looks like my battery might be dying. Let's see here. How big are these dudes? So these are 3.44 inches or 87.4 millimeter for these guys. So now let's go compare that to the bore in the wheel spacers. Let's see if we can get here where we can see. So we said 87 millimeters, right? So we're going to 0 it. I'm going to go here. Let's go here. 78. So yeah, it's a lot smaller than it needs to be. Go to inches, 3 inches. So Yeah, that's why these guys aren't fitting. So we're gonna have to get new ones, or see if we can trade in the ones we got. But I think these will fit the front, and if they fit the front, then I'll use them and see about getting just the rear. But yeah, we'll go from there. All right, so we got different wheel spacers. Still 1.25 inches, but they have a larger here we go. So new wheel spacers, they definitely have a larger bore, so they should fit over the truck. It's still a 6 by 5.5, and yeah, so here we are here. We still have all the same measurements as the other ones, but a larger hub. So let's see if these work. So I'm going to be using these because we don't have a lot of thread available. So these will actually thread in, and then we'll use these for the actual wheel. I mean, right now it won't be pretty, but we can work on that later. So this is problem number 2. These guys are sticking out. So the wheel can't sit flush. It's hitting just these few areas. So now I get to figure that out. Not sure why. I mean, I get it's 1.5 inches or 1.25 inches spacer, but they should still be able to go inside. They should still be able to go, you know. So we found the issue. This guy won't fit in the hole. So I'm just gonna bore these holes out a little bit, just a little bit, so that way this can sink into it. All right, so we reamed the holes out a little bit. So now you can take this and it'll fit pretty well in here. So now let's try it again. So we're gonna try and see. These don't really have any sentimental value to me. This piece right here sticks out and won't allow me to put the rim on. So again, working with what we have, I'm gonna go ahead and cut this top off, leave this, and hopefully that will allow me to fit these spacers on with the wheel flush. All right, so that's what she looks like. We just kind of took our angle grinder and cut off the tip. So let that cool off because that's hot as hell, and then see if that'll fix my issue. Well, we only did one because I don't want to commit, but we are flush it's torqued, it fits the socket because the top's still good. So I think we're going to do that to the other 5, and then this thing should mount flush. So if you look here, it's not quite sitting flush. Not just a little bit of room. Just a little bit. So we're gonna take it all off, and then I'm gonna wire wheel all behind it, because it's definitely not hung up on this anymore. But yeah, we'll get it fixed. So this is with the air shock completely deflated. And as you can see, we do have a gap between the tire. So I think we did it. This is all just a test fitting, unfortunately. Because it's an open diff, I'm gonna have to get this tire on the ground to actually torque down the spacer correctly, and then once it's torqued down and everything's solid, we can actually put her on the ground and make it drivable again. But yeah, progress. Sure, someone's saying, why are we putting spacers on the front? I thought the back was the issue. Well, if you look here, we'd be rubbing at a full turn. So again, the back spacing even in the front isn't right. So I'm just gonna go ahead and push it out all four corners, so that way I don't have tires rubbing on everything. One thing I absolutely hate is having a car that runs and drives, but having to have her on jack stands for too long. So super glad that we got her off jack stands, and just letting her warm up a little bit, get the fuel running through the carburetor, and trying not to get any stagnant gas in the lines again. But yeah, so we'll do a final retort, make sure everything's nice and tight, and then maybe take her for a test drive.